some books. Now, these are my probably top picks for books, but hey, I mean, choose your own, read through them, do your own research on them, see what you think, Basically, we'll start off with this one. Now, I actually saw this one because of Iman Ghazi, bro. He was talking about it in a couple of his interviews, a couple of the videos he actually did, and so I decided to cop it, because why not? So it's Marcus Aurelius Meditations, and basically I tried to listen to the audio version, but there was like no chance at all, because so many of the things said you have to reread like so many times, and for me to skip back through that audio version, it was like, nah. So I went and picked up a hard copy of this, and I'm still not fully through it as of yet. I'm probably like at book 8, I think, which I think it's a 10 chapter book or a 9 chapter book, so I'm almost done, and then it's got the notes section. But it's good. It's it runs through a lot of things to like ponder over. Start of book 5 is a very common one. Let me find book 5. It's basically just saying, in the morning, should you really be sitting in your bed, or you should probably get up and do something? And it just ponders things like that. So, I mean, I keep this one now next to my bed, because it's definitely going to be one I read a couple times. But it's just things like that he continually goes over, and you end up, like for me anyways, I'm thinking about it through the day, and yeah, it's all those little things that you can ponder, and it's quite interesting, like how he was to speak back in the day, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's based from his personal journal, so a lot of it's very interesting, because he was a Roman emperor, I believe, back in the day. So yeah, it's interesting to see how they spoke, and how knowledgeable they were at the time. Like, it's very intense, I would say. But yeah, definitely well worth a read. But you're going to have to read it at least, 10 to however many times. Like, I looked up a couple reviews by that Ryan Holiday, I think. And he loves it. He's got like 6 copies, but bro, he's read his like 50 times. So, I mean, it's definitely one you're going to have to reread multiple times. But yeah, that's Marcus Aurelius, the Meditations. It's good. Get it. The next one's probably just honestly to provide perspective on life, I feel like. Like Dan Bilzerian, the setup, bro. I know in my last video I mentioned it. It's bro. It's interesting because like in Australia anyways, there's not that kind of lifestyle. You're not exposed to it like constantly on like an outrageous scale. I mean, maybe you are in America. I would feel like you would be more than Australia, but I mean, I've never been there, so what do I know? I only know, or I can only guess. But yeah, this definitely provides perspective. Like, he's got his friends, like this one guy he references in the book, Sam, coming in spending like $100,000 a day. Like, messaged Dan one time, middle of the night, saying, "Come round." And fucking Dan's like, "Why?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, I bought sharks for like 20,000 to 60,000 a shark or whatever, and put them in his fucking pool." Like, or like, I don't know, crashing his G-Wagon and just like leaving it. Bro, this provides perspective on like how people live. People with 50 plus mil, 100 plus mil. Some people that, can just be outrageous with wealth. And like, it's really good to see that that's some type of achievable lifestyle if you want to achieve that. And just, it really provides perspective. There's people that make 10 grand a month and be like, "Oh fuck, like this is really good." But then there's people that make like 50 mil a year and they live like outrageous lifestyles, which is like good. I mean, I hope to eventually get to a stage like that, but it's so interesting. And it goes through Dan's like whole story, all his friends, all the wealth, all the mistakes he made, like his cycle usage. So he doesn't hold back. Girls, dynamics, social dynamics, poker, everything. But this is probably my number one recommended. Now, I got this from a friend. I got it from Scape, so I'll put his app probably in the corner here or some shit for Twitter. He's mainly active on there, but I got this from him, so shout out to him. This is a really fucking great book. It's probably my favorite book I've ever read, just because it's interesting and the perspective. I can't. The perspective's wild. But yeah, that's that one. The next one's a real classic one, and I think like a lot of people recommend this, right? Like, this is, maybe you can see that. Think and Grow Rich, right? Now heaps of people suggest Think and Grow Rich, but it's just a classic. You can't really pass it up. Now I've read this a couple times audio, so I had it on Audible, and then I went and picked up a hard copy probably 2 months ago, I would say. And I love it. It goes through a lot of like visualization and I don't know, everything business perspectives. Like we got here, let me find one of these things in the chapter contents. One that I found super interesting was chapter 11, and you can go figure out what that is for yourself. It's the sexual transmutation stage. That's pretty interesting. Subconscious mind, super interesting. And yeah, I think they're probably the best ones, and the imagination one. So he walks you through all visualization and, you know, all stories, and I don't know, it's really great. Like if you haven't read this, definitely, it's one of the classics that you have to read. But yeah, definitely get into that. Now this is something probably more custom to my industry, my niche, right? So this is from Ray Dalio. So if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, right, he's a billionaire trader, investor, in America. And man, he's got 2 books. So he's got the principles one and he's got the investing one. Now the principle one is the principles that he's taken to business and life and like his kind of story, but it also goes through some investing things and some principles like in the investing world that you can apply. So it's a really good all-rounder. I really like the principles one, but it's long. Like it's huge. Look, if we look at some of the words and shit, these are not small pages. These are huge. This is a massive book, so it's a time commitment. That one took me a couple of weeks to finish, but yeah, it was good. But you're looking at upwards of 10, 20 hours reading. I don't know how quick you are, but I'm kind of slow, so yeah, it took a long time to finish. And then even then, I'm probably going to get the audio version next, even though I enjoyed reading the hard copy, and I'll probably just listen to it. Because it's something I want to go over again. Like all these books that I've mentioned, I kind of want to go over 5 to 10 plus potentially more times, depending on this meditations one, right? Because I feel like meditations, there's a lot of things you could take away, but they would take a lot of time to sink in because they're set in such a certain way. So yeah. And then the next one is Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Now this could probably be maybe out of this one. This one is okay, but I didn't like it as much. And this is even more of a time commitment than principles. Like it's really good. It goes through, chapter 1, stand tall, and how people perceive you from just having a straight posture, and how slouched over posture is like horrible in the way of a social presence and, taking up space in a room. And then, yeah, a lot of it's like, the classic things that he say, like when your kids are playing on a skateboard, don't disturb them, let them hurt themselves so they can learn and grow and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a lot of like religious things in it, which I didn't resonate with that much, but nevertheless, it's still a pretty good book, and he's an extremely smart guy, so you're not going to take, you're not going to do any harm in reading it, so you may as well just go through it. But it's a pretty good book, but you could definitely swap it out with something else. But I think just with like all these books, right, like the Dan Bilzerian's one provides perspective. Think and Grow Rich, a lot of like actionable steps. Jordan Peterson's probably more of a thing to ponder. Principles, Ray Dalio, especially for my niche, right? There's a lot of actionable things that I can use in there. And then this, meditations, is just like for daily life. So I feel like across those 5 books, you're probably looking at spending maybe $150, $200. But you're going to be very well-rounded after that. Like, there's so much you can take away from them, and even now I'm going to continually read them. So yeah, I mean, that's my 5 picks for these books. And yeah, I'm yet to read anything that kind of trumps these books. I mean, Jordan Peterson's, there's another book that could probably be swapped out with his in my top 5 favorites, which is like Psycho-Cybernetics. That's really good, but I don't have a hard copy of that. I only have the audio version, so I thought I would just use the hard copy version since I had it here. But yeah, I'm just doing random little vlogs. I know there's a lot of trading stuff on the channel. I know there's like random little vlogs, and now there is a book review, but this is what I want to be posting, and so yeah, I will continue to do so. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, or you want me to make a certain type of video, or you want more breakdowns, let me know.